Time now for the front page. It's Monday, August 21st, 2023. Hurricane Hilary, or Typhoon Hilary more appropriately, is battering the American Southwest. Fox News reports that Tropical Storm Hilary made landfall over Mexico's Baja, California peninsula. That happened late over the weekend, Sunday in fact, before setting its sights on Southern California. It prompted flash flood warnings in the areas around Los Angeles. Some of the descriptors are that Palm Springs is underwater. Hilary had weakened from a Category 1 hurricane to a tropical storm on Sunday. The National Weather Service had predicted the storm will likely bring catastrophic and life-threatening flooding to the region and cross into the southwestern U.S. as a tropical storm. That's exactly what happened. On Sunday night, President Joe Biden released a statement confirming the federal government officials are providing resources to impacted states. I continue to be briefed on preparedness efforts and the storm's potential impact, including flooding, said the Biden statement. My administration stands ready to provide additional assistance as requested. I urge people to take this storm seriously and listen to state and local officials. The New York Times is reporting that after remaining secluded since Friday, the president will break away from his vacation trip for a brief trip to Maui, where flames have demolished a town and killed more than 114 people. President Biden is set to break away from his summer vacation on Monday, today, to fly to Hawaii to inspect damage wrought by wildfires that have killed more than 100 people and effectively wiped out a coastal town called Lahaina. Mr. Biden, who's spending the week at Lake Tahoe in Nevada with his family, will be joined on the trip to Hawaii by the First Lady, Jill Biden, and will meet survivors of the fires as well as with emergency workers and state and local officials, according to his aides. The president has come under criticism from Republicans for not saying enough publicly, in their view, about the fires that turned the town of Lahaina into an inferno. That happened August 8th. The Honolulu Star-Advertiser warned that a warm welcome may not be assured for President Biden in some circles on Maui, because of frustrations applying for aid and cultural sensitivities involving native Hawaiians. White House officials have rejected the criticism, saying that the president has kept in close touch with Governor Josh Green of Hawaii and Deanne Criswell, the administrator of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Mr. Biden spoke with Governor Green and Mayor Richard T. Bisson of Maui County on Saturday. The Hawaii death toll has indeed risen. The Hawaii wildfire death toll has risen to 114. Maui officials confirmed on Friday the wildfire death toll has risen to at least 114, while searchers look for missing people in the historic district of Lahaina, which was almost completely destroyed by the fire. Only 6 of the victims have been publicly identified. Hawaii Governor Josh Green and his wife Jamie Green held an emotional live stream to citizens of Honolulu on Friday night. For generations, Lahaina's beauty, culture, and rich history drew artists, musicians, and visitors from around the world, according to Jamie Green. Tragically, it took less than a single day for us to lose Lahaina in the deadliest fire our country has seen in more than a century. Fox News reports that for his part, Josh Green suggested that all manner of things occurred that came together for this fire, and then said that there were no excuses. While appearing on CBS's Face the Nation, Green discussed what some people have considered critical mistakes by both local and private companies regarding the disaster. Though Green acknowledged failures and decisions made in the moment by these actors, he remarked that these mistakes were aggravated by climate change. The host of Face the Nation, Margaret Brennan, said, "So just to be clear, when you're talking about global warming, are you saying climate change amplified the cost of human error?" The governor said, "Yes, it did. There's always going to be incredible things that people do to save lives, from firefighters, from the citizens, and there are always decisions made that I'm sure aren't perfect in the moment. But when you have fire that moved more than a mile a minute, and what happened, I'm told by survivors that they were in the initial fire. It was put out sometime late in the afternoon in Lahaina, and then firefighters had to go to 3 or 4 other fires that had started because of the conditions. There are no excuses ever to be made, but there are finite resources sometimes in the moment." In state news today, the Biden administration has reportedly been selling off millions of dollars worth of border wall materials in a race against Republicans who are vying to pass legislation to finish its construction. This from Fox News. Steel square structural tubes photographed in a storage lot in Arizona were listed for sale on GovPlanet. That's an auction place, an online auction marketplace, run publicly by traded Canadian company Ritchie Brothers auctioneers this month. Those 28-foot-tall hollow beams are excess border wall materials the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers turned over to the DLA for disposition and are now for sale. The DLA, by the way, is the Defense Department's logistics agency. It was just confirmed to the Daily Upside and later the New York Post. GovPlanet, which specializes in military surplus, has sold 81 lots of beams for approximately $2 million. Out of Oregon, the London Daily Mail reports that Portland's first sanctioned homeless park is less than 20% full after opening, as shocking new images show drug abuse and illegal campsites scattered across the city. Oregon's largest city is in the midst of a devastating humanitarian crisis. Its homeless population is up almost 50% since 2019 to more than 5,000 people. The uber-woke local government is pinning its hope of reversing its trend on a raft of costly new shelters. But when Daily Mail visited earlier this month, two of the flagship sites sat nearly empty, with the majority of its drug-addled homeless population preferring to remain in unsanctioned campsites across the city. Distressing images showed rows of disheveled tents taking over streets, while left-behind inhabitants openly abused hard drugs on the sidewalks. Out of Kansas, this reported from USA Today. The police chief who oversaw the sharply criticized raid of a local news outlet in Kansas alleged a reporter was either impersonating a victim or lying about the reasons why records were being sought for apparently a news story. When she accessed the driving records of local business owner, according to previously unreleased court documents. The allegation is the first public reporting and suggestion of evidence that may have led to the August 11th raid on the newspaper. That was led by Marion Police Chief Gideon Cody. Police officers raided the Marion County Record and seized computers, personal cell phones, a router, and other equipment from the newspaper. Police also carried out raids at two private residences, including the home of the paper's co-owners. A signed search warrant, which was later withdrawn by the county attorney, said police were looking for information related to local restaurateur Carrie Newell, who had accused the paper of, quote, illegally obtaining drunk driving information about her and supplying it to a local council member. This, according to Meyer, who wrote about the incident in an article. There's more to that story. Indeed, what was going on here is that there was a death from the family of one of the publishers. The mother of the publisher, some 98 years old, she apparently passed away because of stress. And there is more information that we'll report later on in the Wells Report. Out of California, a magnitude 5.1 earthquake shook Southern California as much of the region began to feel the effects of Tropical Storm Hilary. The U.S. Geological Survey said the earthquake epicenter was about 4 miles southeast of Ojai, California, about 80 miles northwest of Los Angeles. According to the USGS, the magnitude 5.1 earthquake happened at 2:41 p.m. Pacific time. Several smaller aftershocks occurred after the original earthquake, ranging from magnitude 2.6 to 4.0. The city of Calabasas posted to X, formerly known as Twitter. The earthquake was upgraded to 5.1, although there were no reports of damages. Elsewhere in international news, Russia's Luna 25 has crashed on the moon. This from CNN. Russia's first lunar mission in decades ended indeed with failure as the Luna 25 spacecraft crashed into the moon's surface. The incident, a blow to Russia's space ambitions, happened after communication with a robotic spacecraft was interrupted. Russia's space agency, Roscosmos, had lost touch with Luna 25 on Saturday at about 2:57 p.m. Moscow time. The measures taken on August 19th and 20th to search for the device and get it in contact had not yielded any results, said the space agency. According to a preliminary analysis, Luna 25 switched to an off-design orbit before the collision with the moon, according to Roscosmos. It's not immediately clear what caused that crash. Out of politics this morning, from NBC, former President Donald Trump said Thursday he will no longer hold an event to present what he called an irrefutable report about the 2020 election in Georgia. Trump announced the planned major news conference for Tuesday morning, last Tuesday morning, the day after he and 18 other defendants were indicted in the election interference case in Georgia. Quote, a large, complex, detailed, but irrefutable report on the presidential election fraud which took place in Georgia is almost complete and will be presented by me at a major news conference 11 a.m. Monday next week in Bedminster. In other words, today. But the event was never formally advised by the campaign. The Trump spokesman and attorneys had been silent about it. In a Truth Social post last Thursday evening, Trump canceled the Monday event, today's event, and said the report would not be released on today either, or released today either. By the way, also from the New York Times, former President Donald Trump plans to upstage the first Republican primary debate on Wednesday by sitting for an online interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, according to multiple people briefed on the matter. This reported by the New York Times. Former President Donald Trump plans in the past 24 hours, Trump has told people close to him that he made up his mind and will skip the debate in Milwaukee. This according to two of the people briefed on the matter. The exact timing and platform of the interview with Mr. Carlson remain unclear. But if it goes ahead as currently planned, the debate night counter-programming would serve as an open act of hostility against the Republican Party, this according to the New York Times. Spokespersons for the Trump campaign, the RNC, and Fox News did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Mr. Carlson also did not respond to a request for comment either. That's today's front page on the Wells Report. This for Monday, August 21st, 2023.